Welcome to Off Topic. Surprise, I'm your host this week. What? Oh, the Better Jones is here. Don't tell Michael I said that. Anywho.
I believe. Here's the thing.
Oh my goodness.
I believe it.
Thank you. I'm your host, Lindsay. This is Jack. We have Fredo here as well. I heard that sometimes when we have 3 people on set, there's a show called What's Up?
Oh yeah, what's up with Michael and I? And
Michael's not here, so this is What's New.
He's not here, so yeah, I guess it's What's New.
What's New with Lindsay and Fredo, featuring Jack.
Featuring Jack.
Hello.
Jack being a first-time guest on
Thanks
What's
for
Up.
having me on.
Anytime,
What's New.
dude, anytime.
Thanks for having me on What's New.
What's new, Jackie Cat?
It's been a long time. Been a big fan of the show. What's New? I've been watching all the episodes.
Thank
I've seen
you.
every single one.
Thank you.
This is the first one.
I know. I've seen all of them.
Lying to me.
Perfect record, though.
I've been in the audience for all of them. I've also been on stage for all of them too.
He's been here for the chem testing.
So I appreciate that.
Did we have him in the focus group, or is this
I don't know. Remember when like our first guest during the test episode was a raccoon?
about that? Hang on, that's gonna be a good crossover into Volume 9 promo. I should probably hit that now. Thank you also for watching RWBY, everybody who has.
Hit it.
Appreciate you. We have episode 3 of Volume 9 hitting Crunchyroll on Saturday, so check that out. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's awesome.
This is the one where RWBY dies, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you were telling me.
Everyone
It was the
dies.
3rd episode was the big one where RWBY
They're all
dies, and then she's dead for the rest of the season.
Yeah, like Umbrella Academy, she's a ghost.
But then
she's
at night
hanging
she
out.
comes back, but then Blake dies.
Yes.
Right? That's what it was. Blake's dead.
a domino effect.
In the last episode.
I was
Got it.
on the road driving that joke in at 60 miles an hour, and then here comes Jack speeding at 120.
18-wheeler. Yes, absolutely. And I'm here for it.
And we're both in that same lane.
It's a better message coming from Jack too. Like I'll joke every now and then, but I am RWBY, so people take it seriously. They're like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "No, I'm just kidding. Like we're good." But like, there's so many times where I'll be with Jack.
One of my favorite things to do is at conventions, people come up and they'll be like, "Oh, can you sign this?" I'm like, "It's RWBY. It's like, is this season 1 or 2?" Which is the ones I'm like, "Oh, this is RWBY." I'm like, "Oh, cool." I'm like, "Oh, she dies this season, right?" And they're like, "It's like, yeah." It's like, feel free to ask me any question about RWBY. I will answer it. I have no idea. Like, well, technically, I do know stuff about this season, but no, I'll answer anything. Feel free. I was there. We did a roundtable thing that I did some Q&A for. I'll be honest, I was just asking questions. I have no idea what happened. It was Carrie and everyone was speaking a lot of fancy stuff around me, and I have no idea what was going on.
You handled it fine.
As the host, you just facilitate.
Exactly. Like Jack's a good host too. I mean, speaking as a host, I can say you're a good host.
Thank you.
I love that also. Also check out the table reads, roundtable, excuse me. We have that all on the Rooster Teeth Animation YouTube channel. Check that out. But we're just answering questions about RWBY, Volume 9, and all episodes from the past. So if you don't want spoilers, go check out the episodes and then watch them. But we just kind of go more into depth about like what this volume was writing-wise, how it was performing for the characters. And what I like is you say like, I was out of the loop. I'm kind of lost hosting this thing. I mean, doing the voices for the show, there's so many times where we'll record it and then I watch the episode, I'm like, that is not at all how I pictured it was gonna be. It's totally different. So I have to jog my memory too. You're not alone, you're good.
Yeah, well, you recorded that stuff a long time ago, right?
3
Like
years.
season 9 has been in the works for quite a while, so it's cool that it's actually finally out there and getting out there. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I suppose like Marvel actors feel that way, right? Because a lot of times, like for Quantum Mania, for example, you look at the behind the scenes stuff. It's just a giant blue room.
Well, they were also in the Void for Quantum Mania too, right? They shot a lot of it in the Void, or not the Void, the Volume. Is that what it's
I think
called?
it's called the Volume. That's why I was confused. I'm like, the Void?
Yeah, the Volume is the one. That's the one they do all the like Mandalorian and a lot of the Disney Plus shows. The big like CGI wall thing.
That's
the big green screen room, basically.
Yeah, but they shot a lot of Quantum Mania on that thing. So which makes sense because it was a very CGI heavy movie, and it's like, okay, here's a background for you, and like we can just develop all of the scenery of the quantum realm in this, and then just put the camera wherever we want in it. So it's pretty cool. It's like that technology is pretty sweet.
I do like calling it the Void now too. Can we reclaim that? Volume's old news. I like thinking about it as the Void because the Void will stare back. Like I imagine if you're on set with green screen enough, eventually you start to see nothing but green screen. Like everything's just an illusion to you.
Yeah.
Well, to link that to so Thunderbolts is a Marvel movie that's coming out.
Go ahead.
And the rumor is that Stephen Young from Walking Dead, he's going to play Sentry.
Oh,
From
that'd
Duke
be
and
pretty
Birdie,
sweet.
please.
And with Sentry is like what Marvel Superman.
He's also invincible, right? Like
yeah. Damn, that's good. Good for him. But with the Sentry comes the Void.
So let's say someone doesn't know what the fuck you just said.
Sentry is Marvel's Superman, and he's got the power of like 1,000 suns or something.
What's his
something
kryptonite?
Like
Give me a breakdown.
Hugs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
It's pretty rough.
My one weakness too. Excellent.
That's why you avoid touch from anyone.
I do, yeah.
You get hugged, you just drop to the floor.
That's why I wear
like
my leather. Yeah. I do like just knowing, like, you know a little bit of Marvel. Obviously, resident expert here is Alfredo. You guys have been playing Marvel Snap a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm learning from proxy, just hearing your conversations. I'm like, okay, this guy sounds really powerful and OP. Okay, no, that guy's really weak. Ooh, like I'm just picking up little bits and pieces.
This is interesting because the last time Fredo and I were on a podcast together, the two people on the podcast with us wanted nothing to do with Marvel Snap.
I'm here.
I believe Joe and BK were like crying about it.
They
were. We kept trying to add them to the Slack channel and they kept panicking and leaving, and so we had to re-add them. It was silly. They kept leaving.
Let me in.
You know,
what's the password?
I mean, maybe or maybe or not, I hit infinite rank. I don't know. Did I, Cody? Did I hit infinite? Was that?
Oh,
is that
Cody.
the?
Sure did, buddy.
I did. Yeah.
That's
3
the
seasons
positive
in a row.
masculinity we like to see.
Hey, I'm not only good at shooters. I can play the card game. I put that card down. And they put a card down, and then I put that card down.
It's hard to play shooters when you're on the toilette. So you know,
That's true.
Having Marvel
I guess
Snap
COD
there.
Mobile.
Steam Deck, you got this. Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, that thing is awesome.
It is pretty cool.
Although I am playing through Resident Evil 6. If you guys don't recall, it's the one where the logo is the guy sucking off a giraffe.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
How
the
could
logo.
you forget?
That game sucks ass.
Does it?
It's terrible.
Really?
The UI is completely different, but aside from that, it's just like the first 5 minutes, it's just an action sequence with QuickTime events.
Okay.
Oh.
That's all right.
I'm like in a helicopter going through a building into another building, and then after that, like we crash into a building and we slam down, we fall out, and then we land on a glass floor. Oh my God, there's zombies below. Oh no, look up. The helicopter is gonna come crashing down on us. QuickTime event, dodge out the way. It's like
Mash X.
super, and Resident Evil, you know when you walk around with 80 bullets consistently, and just start spamming the shit out of your guns, it's trash. It's very bad. But
Also true.
it's the only one I haven't played, so I was like, I want to play it just because. Unfortunately, on top of that, it is also it's also, there's a trail of pee if you didn't see that. It's just right behind it. It's also the longest Resident Evil, so it's a ride. It's like 21 hours.
So that's what your game, that's the game you're on right now? Like the one you're playing?
I'm playing, aside from Snap, that, and then back on Siege. I've been playing a lot with Joe and our friend Fuya, and tonight we're playing with Iffy.
Okay.
So pray for me. Hello.
Oh, don't. He might not have washed his hands, but I will
Doctor?
shake them.
Doctor?
What's
Definitely
this?
not washed, but that's the point.
I'll never wash this piss.
That's the point.
Why is it moist?
Right here,
smear
right
it.
here, baby. over my mic and my heart.
Yeah.
No, pray for Joe and I because we got Iffy.
Uh-oh.
So, explain Iffy's role in your Siege group, because me watching your streams, I'm just watching experts, like wizards at play. And it seems like Iffy is very skilled, but okay. Your face is telling me other things. Go ahead. I'll let you elaborate.
Skill the right word to use for Iffy?
Lucky?
Look, I've never played Siege with Iffy. I have played Apex with Iffy. I have played a lot of Gmod with Iffy.
Played Madden with Iffy.
It's true, we did. That was a good time.
That was fun.
That being said, the role would be, taking the class out on a field trip.
Okay.
And Joe and I, I'm the teacher, and Joe's the PA, and Iffy is
the TA, maybe?
Yeah.
The TA. Yeah,
there you go.
There's a production assistant too.
He's bringing you snacks and stuff in between.
And
Make sure you have your
Iffy's along for the zoo trip.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he the hyperactive kid on the leash who's trying to break into the elephant container, or is there some kind of like focus there? Because I do
Do you know? I'm just gonna let Iffy pick something.
Okay.
And then I'll play flex. It's like, if he wants a hard breach, I'll pick a second hard breach. just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case. It's not Apex. Iffy is strong at Apex.
Okay.
Siege. I think even he admitted he hasn't done much Siege, but he wants to get into it. So I'm like, let me bring you into this world.
You played a ton of Siege for a while there. Like you were hooked on that.
It was funny you say that. I literally texted Fredo and was telling him how much I was playing Siege. Like at the time, I've fallen off a little bit. I'd like to get back into it. I'm not going to be at y'all's level, and I'm like scared to join online lobbies. So I want to make sure I play with people I know. But I do remember like Jeff coming over and he's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Playing Siege, just trying to get better at this, get reaction timing." I'd play Terrorist Hunt a lot first before I got with anyone online, and it got to the point where Fredo was like, "You have to stop."
I did.
Problem.
Because there was like, I haven't touched it in 3 days, and here you are, tea hunting in the office day after day. I was like, hold up. what's going on here? What happened?
I'm trying to be like you, really, honestly.
Are they still adding more and more operatives to it, or they kind of cap out? They're still adding operatives?
Still
How many are there now?
It's like 50.
Jesus, it launched with like 12, right?
Yeah.
When was the last one announced? I don't think of
Well,
serious announcement.
the 6 Invitational was a couple weeks ago. We actually, Meg, Jackie, and I, we flew down to visit Jeremy and Kat, and we started up another board game. But we like legacy games, so we played King's Dilemma. We're gonna talk about that because that was really fun. But all of us, we like Siege. Meg just cosplayed the Elite skin for Ella. Looks awesome, and we're just like, yo, Sunday's a 6th Invitation. Let's watch it. So we watched it, and it was a ton of fun. But yeah, no, they're still releasing ops and changing things around, and so I was out of it for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then recently I got back in, and I was just like, what's going on here? What's all the different moves? And it's funny because there's so many different like nuance changes. Like Doc, his like stim pistol, he goes for like 200 or something like that now. It's
wow.
Nuts. But like Rook armor, if you have it on, you can pick yourself back up if you're like down but not out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I found that out because I played like a week before we went to go see Jeremy and Kat. And then I told that during the 6th Invitation, I told that to Jackie. I was like, oh yeah, Rook armor, you can pick yourself up like when you're down but not out. And Jackie's played, 1,000 hours. And she's like, bullshit, stop lying to me. Why are you lying to me right now? I'm like, no, this is true. And she's like, no, this is a lie. I'm not gonna fall for it. And I'm like, you know what? I put myself in this position.
I wish that Michael were there. He'd be like, Jackie, you're right. You should not believe what this man says. He's full of falsehoods. It was just a perfect antagonization.
Yeah, it would have just been a whole clusterfuck.
So has she tried Rook since then? Has she figured it out for herself?
No, I've lost Jackie to WoW.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
She is back in
wow.
big time.
Dude, WoW is a dangerous game, man. That is a game that you have to commit yourself to. Like, if you're going to play it a lot, it's like, that's your life. And so that's why I avoid it, because I have an addictive personality when it comes to MMOs, where I'll start playing, I'm like, well, this is all I'm going to do for the next ever.
Well, Jack, how do you think I had so much time to hit Infinite in Marvel Snap? Because Jack is like, look, I'm just going to do WoW tonight for like 6 hours. And I was like, go for it. I get it. There's like a dragon class now or something.
Cool.
I don't know.
Nice.
Where's the WoW nerds at?
Yeah.
So she was like, look, I'm a dragon. There's like new flying. It's like flying dragons that
you can fly.
Like mounts.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think it's like you could fly
dragon mounts
in like the
I was
starting.
gonna say.
No, you can like fly in the starting areas and shit now.
Oh, shit. All right.
Starting areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was like, oh, you would have liked this, because I tried it a couple years ago, and I was like, this is fun if I wasn't like streaming. You know what I mean? Because it's not something I would enjoy streaming.
I think that
But
might
if
have been
it
around the
was
same
fun.
time I was getting big into Siege, and I think you and Jackie invited me to join one of your WoW campaigns, and I got like 5 minutes into it, and I was like, same thing. I'm like, I have to stop. Like, one, this is very exciting, but I'm so overwhelmed. There's so much happening and so much history behind it. Like, I wasn't a
there's
WoW
a
player.
lot.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I started playing Stone Block 3, Minecraft. Like that.
Yeah.
Feed the Beast released Stone Block 3.
Nice.
Oh, no, it's dangerous.
Is there how much more is there from 2 to 3?
Well, I mean, it's like it's a little bit more streamlined now, because Feed the Beast actually has their own launcher. So like they basically, any of the Feed the Beast mod packs, like you can launch through their own launcher, which is super convenient. But it's pretty much the same thing, except the whole idea with a mod pack is it takes other mod packs and kind of streamlines them into one big thing. And so this one, you start and you play for a little bit, and it like actually has like an achievement tree where it's like, okay, do all this stuff and you unlock things and get rewards. And then once you kind of complete that, it's like, okay, which of these mod packs do you kind of want to dive into next? And there's all achievements tied to them. So the idea is you kind of just work your way through all of them.
That's cool. It's like a tutorial, but also with incentives in the meantime.
Yeah, and you kind of like choose your poison. So it's like, okay, I want to do like right now I'm dealing with like water wheels and mechanical type stuff where it's like you can automate things, but it's very slow, and there's like gears and cogs, and it's like it's kind of a cool little thing. But like that's a whole mod pack. It's like I can choose just to do that, or move on to the next one. They have like sorcery stuff, and it's like I could do just that if I wanted to for a bit. And so I'm kind of just working my way through it now, and it's just fun, man. It's just like I got hooked on Satisfactory, like hard hooked on Satisfactory, and so this is kind of tapping into that Satisfactory need of like automating things and making things simpler. But it's Minecraft, so it's like it's still familiar in that way too.
That's my favorite part of playing with you in games like Minecraft is like clearly you're well versed. You want that automation. I'm eager to help and just be like the gopher whenever that's happening. So I remember all the Stoneblock series. Like we didn't get into any of the water wheels, but I remember I didn't know what to do with them, so I just hung them up on the wall wall behind you, like, look, Jack, yay, isn't this nice?
It's like putting like art on the refrigerator.
Pretty much.
But no, it's been a lot of fun and it's kind of cool. And like I want to get back into more Minecraft mod stuff. And so it's just like there's so much cool stuff out there. Just vanilla Minecraft now is like it's still tough to be like, okay, let's go build things. I like having a like here's some sort of linear story or some sort of progression to follow through where it's like I feel like I'm getting somewhere. It's not just me doing nothing. Like even at like Satisfactory, there's just enough of it where it's like, you know, do this to unlock this. Like, okay, cool. And then like you can kind of progress that way. And then the game isn't released yet. It's still in early access, but they're getting close to release. And it's like I'm playing on that. I'm on like the last tier of stuff. Like I have to make nuclear power that I'm pretty much done. And so
I'm like at the point in my life where like I want games to be very linear.
Yeah.
Like people will be like, oh man, you know, The Witcher, you're gonna go explore this and that and these minutes. I'm like, no, I just want to go through chapter 1 through like 8, maybe a couple side things, maybe a couple things to collect, but really just like a linear path so I can play it, be done with it, and then do like a different game.
Well, that's like something like a Dead Space remake is perfect, where it's like, all right, here is a, you know, like a 12 to 20 hour game to digest and just love it, and then just move on. Be like, all right. Then it's like, if you want to go back and like New Game Plus it, you can if you want to, but it's like, all right, you know, you feel like, okay, I can put this book back up on the shelf. Like, I finished that.
You all might understand from an ADHD perspective how I enjoy both ideas because sometimes I need my handheld. I like when there's like, no, come over here, baby. Like, here's how you play the game. I'm like, thank you.
They're like, hey, that's right.
Oh, cool.
Shaking keys.
Right. But then like Breath of the Wild is a great example. I'm like, dude, I just explored like crazy. I was nowhere near the main quest for so long. I was like, I'm just going to look at like environments too. Like I'll look at the animation and the amount of work that's put into the areas you're in before I even touch gameplay. And I'm like, okay, now that I'm done looking around, let's like fight stuff. So I'm you get the best of both worlds. I guess I'm a Hannah Montana person.
See, I was like that in Assassin's Creed. Like anytime where it's like Assassin's Creed, anytime I start up a new Assassin's Creed game, it's like, okay, what are the eagle points? Like I have the synchronization points. I have to go and collect all of those, unlock the entire map. It's like, okay, now I can start the game. You know, it's like now I can see literally everything.
Well, that also makes sense because it'll bring up everything on your map, so you get all the little icons, etc.
Yeah, you can also teleport too. Like in the later games, you actually bounce around between them. So it's like that was super convenient.
Side note too, because I know you're an Assassin's Creed fan, and I feel like maybe now in the office I'm the only. I mean, Matt is a huge fan too, so I feel like the three of us probably know the most about the series. Michael played a lot, but I remember like Michael now has LASIK, so his eyes are great. Before that, his eyesight was not awesome. I was the one who like saw all the time for him. So there'd be times where I was watching him play Assassin's Creed. It was before you had like a lot of the map unlock, and I would see an Animus fragment like four rooftops down the way. I'm like, there's a shiny. He's like, bullshit. I'm like, no, go get it.
Just trust me.
Believe in me. I can help you. This is part of the relationship. This is what I bring to the table. But then they added that mechanic. Now I'm like, I'm useless. I'm just here with you. I'm sorry. I have no purpose being here. What are these eyes worth?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed's one of those games, like, I love the lore of Assassin's Creed. I love the story of Assassin's Creed. But I feel like it like started getting way too big. They kind of opened it up. And now it's like, I think they're trying to rewrite that a little bit.
It seems like with the newer one.
Yeah, like Valhalla especially, they've been like kind of like, oh, okay, let's kind of bring it back to what people remember. And like, there's some stuff towards the end of Valhalla that just like was mind-blowing for me. As a fan of the series for a long time, I was like, holy shit, I know what's going on here. Like, I have a feeling what's happening. And that was, 2 years ago at this point. Like, it's been a while since they've had an Assassin's Creed game, but supposedly, apparently Kind of Funny put out a video saying there's like multiple Assassin's Creed games in the works. I know they announced like the live service game, which is going to be like an open world kind of like always adding stuff game. But I don't know what happened with that.
That's probably why they took a break, if they're going to do something that extensive.
Well, they had 2 studios working on them because they had them bouncing back and forth between studios for a bit. And so that way they were coming out quicker. But then like they took a 2-year break in between. I think was it Odyssey and Valhalla or Origin and Odyssey? There was anyway. Then there was one where they kind of So, but I think now, technically there's an E3 this year. I don't know if Ubisoft's going to be doing a presentation, but it's like, I feel like we're due Assassin's Creed information, official Assassin's Creed.
Like
information.
who the fuck is attending E3 at this point?
Microsoft's not, PlayStation's not, Nintendo's not.
Nintendo's been not.
I don't know if EA is or not. I think they're not.
Right. Yeah, I mean, E3 was fun. I mean, I've gone to like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
I've worked like 5 of them, and they're a great time. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense why. I mean, I get like it's a big time for everyone to talk about their games and have their conferences. But yeah, why wouldn't you just have like what Nintendo does? They just have their Direct and like
Well, I think that's
Like a lot
why
of people
E3 is
there,
dying. I mean, I think that's exactly.
People
it.
are like,
I mean,
why do I need to compete against all the other stuff?
Yeah.
I could just have my own spotlight on a random day.
I feel like we're seeing that across the
our own
board with
time.
like conventions or like physical presence in conventions too.
Yeah,
being
probably
the
less
opposite
expensive.
end. Yeah, exactly. It's like understandably a lot of people are like, I want to stay home, and even we're still technically in a pandemic. It's like there's like the concern about that. But then also like if you can market some stuff online, cool. Especially if it's like video gameplay. I'm like, that's a nice lack of barrier of entry, I should say.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. E3 was never meant to be like a consumer convention. Like
Right.
that was the idea. It was supposed to be press and it was like, here's some announcements, here's some cool stuff. Okay, go. But then it slowly drifted more and more where it was like, oh, this is just another consumer convention like a PAX or, And so people would show up and it's like, there'd be like a 2-hour long line to play a demo of a game.
Yeah,
It's like,
it
wait,
would.
what?
Nope, don't want
that
that.
doesn't make any sense at all. And then so, I mean, it's kind of high and mighty. Like, I should be able to play the game. But it's like the whole point is to promote your stuff.
Yeah.
And when there's so many people there, it's like, I don't know that everyone here was covering stuff for websites or anything. It's just,
Right.
yeah.
A
It's
ton of people weren't.
yeah, and so it's like, okay, I don't really understand how that worked, but
Do y'all remember
c'est la vie.
what's the subtitle for the new Assassin's Creed? I don't remember. It's not Oasis, right? I'm blanking right now.
Which one? Sorry.
The ones that's been proposed, the new Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, I have no idea.
I have no idea. It was like a live one, like Assassin's Creed, like Ultimatum or
Yes.
Ultimate or
Help
something.
us out, internet.
Dang.
Or I can go to my phone.
Sounds like
Either
a
way.
John Wick
Yeah.
title,
It does.
My
Does it?
God.
Oh my goodness.
which is out this month.
I was gonna say, speaking
Really?
of John Wick
Yeah.
4,
Oh,
right?
nice.
Was it
Yeah,
number
4,
series? Okay.
which is supposed to have like the most action out of all the movies in the John Wick series.
Sick.
Which is nuts because there's so much action in the previous series too.
All right, Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Mirage. Okay.
That's coming out
Oasis.
this year
Mirage.
for the PC, Xbox, PlayStation.
Okay.
Got you. I saw some of the concept art and it looks really cool. I also like that we're gravitating away from Europe. Europe's great.
Was there a trailer for this that I just missed?
I don't think there was
My God.
maybe a teaser trailer, not a full
You're
trailer.
looking at like
There's no way.
screenshots and you're like, hold on, I haven't seen this before.
I'm distracted.
Okay. A tribute to an original. Experience a modern take on the features and gameplay that have defined a franchise for 15 years. Journey to Alamut, the legendary home of the assassins who laid the foundations of the Creed in this heartfelt homage to a game that started it all. So is this, I guess this fits between Origin and Assassin's Creed 1?
I don't know timeline-wise where it is, but it sounds like
Because
yeah.
Origins was like, that was the beginning of the Assassins. Like literally they picked up
forming.
they picked up like the skull of the eagle and it formed like the sort of Assassin's logo.
Got you.
And I was like, oh, that's where it came from. I didn't know that I cared about that.
It's
and then,
Right.
but then, because they technically weren't assassins back then. It was not the Jin. I forget who it was, but it was like the Magi versus somebody.
No, it is Magi. You're right. That was by Bayek's story.
Yeah,
Yes,
Bayek.
Yeah.
And
It's been so long since I played that too.
Yeah, that's cool. It's okay. Yes, Jack. It's a character from Valhalla. Wait, so is it the one? It's the dude from. It's not Timur. Oh God, what's his name from Valhalla? The assassin dude who you meet and then hang out with. So is it his story? I'm guessing.
Where
I'm
does
looking
the
for Bossum.
Michael
There it is.
Fassbender Assassin's
is.
Creed movie fit into this?
Oh, okay. It's a
So technically,
everything. all of
that is canon. That movie is canon.
what?
Oh, I bet.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. Which the movie was not great, but all of the assassin stuff, like all like the time period stuff, was amazing. Being like, one thing about that movie I loved was the fact that all the stuff that was the period portion of it was all done in the proper language. Like it was just subtitled instead of just like, oh, suddenly we're speaking English in like ancient times. Like no.
That's pretty cool.
And like the fights in that were awesome. It was so cool.
Or like the excuse to use an Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Quantumania.
Oh yeah. Drink the juice. But I dug that part of it. I thought that was really cool. And I did like the idea of like their take on the Animus, where it was like essentially creating a 3D world around you and kind of tricking your brain into it. So that's how they could be like, oh, we're seeing what they're going through because we can actually physically see it.
Right. And
that
with
was
the
a cool
VR
take.
technology we have as an audience member, you go, yeah.
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense. Okay.
And so I was like, all right, I kind of dig that. Like that was a clever take on it, especially to like sort of make it work in the movie world. But I want to say they have referenced those characters in some of the later games.
I wouldn't be surprised. I got a little turned off, understandably, as a lot of people did, when they like self-referenced themselves and were like, Ubisoft is working on this game.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like, okay,
and it
okay,
was a
hang
Black
on.
Flag, I think they started.
Yeah, right. I'm like, okay, but you're right. They kind of toned that down a little bit. Now, talking about building an Assassin's Guild, which I totally forgot about that cutscene. I'm going to bring that back and play it again. John Wick 4, Fredo.
Yeah.
According to the trailer, it sounds like there might be more pew-pewers out there.
Well,
No more dead dogs, though, right?
It's just chapter 4, right? So like,
yeah,
that's the idea. Is like they're no longer be like, if this is the last one, it's like, no, this is the 4th chapter.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's also going to be, what is it, the spinoff for the hotel, the
White Lotus.
California.
The Continental?
Continental. Yeah, that's going to be a spin-off series, The Continental.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
It's supposed
kinda
to be like earlier before Wick. So
Sick.
I don't know how that's going to go.
Before they lit the candle.
But we'll see. I'm down for more stuff.
It's like 3 hours long, right?
Yeah, it's pretty long. It's up there. It's gotten progressively longer.
Yeah, the last one, it was not painful, but it was exhausting because there's just so
a lot
much
of
action.
action.
It's like,
Yeah.
God damn, like give me a second to
I
breathe.
love it.
It's like a Transformers movie. Like, I get it. There's cars crashing everywhere. I mean, I've only seen the first John Wick too, so I shouldn't talk.
What?
I know. I need to. I will happily watch it. I'd like to. Especially because I learned that the fight choreographer who did Birds of Prey, which I loved, mixed opinions all around, but they did the same fight choreography for John Wick. I was like, oh, I had no idea.
Oh, shit.
Like, yeah. So there's some sick action in that movie. I like Birds of Prey. That's me.
Man, did I see the menu with you? Who did I see the menu with? No. I went and saw the menu with, maybe it was Ben. I don't know. Have you seen the menu yet?
I have.
That movie was
I will.
awesome.
That is such a cool movie. Talk about movies that are like, talk about like, media and stuff that's like, you can kind of consume it and be like done with it, put it on a shelf. That's a perfect example of that. It has it's an interesting story, has some weird characters. It's like, it's really a dark comedy.
Yeah,
is what it is more than anything. And it's like, my God. And then you kind of walk away from it like, huh, done.
Yeah.
Neat. There's no extended universe. I don't need a prequel. It's like, nope. We told the story and we're out. And that is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the stronger movies of, was it last year?
Yeah. It was last year.
Last
Was it?
year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This year you got Cocaine Bear.
We do. Yeah. Another equal level there. Yeah. Both
Academy
artistic
worthy Cocaine Bear.
Oh my goodness. I saw some reviews about Cocaine Bear, and like it is what it is. It's Cocaine Bear the movie. A bear takes cocaine. Enjoy.
Loosely based on a true story.
Yes, apparently. But from what I saw review-wise, a lot of people were kind of saying the same thing. It's like too much action. It's just like the bit was played so much that you go, okay, I'm done. Like I can't sit through a whole entire movie of just Cocaine Bear jokes the entire time. But I feel like I might be open to that. I don't know.
Well, it's like what's the line between a Sharknado and a Cocaine Bear?
Exactly.
It's like there's a fine line. You can kind of go either way.
I mean, I feel like you go into that with the bar set really damn low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then from there, you'll never be disappointed. Like, I don't know what you expect from Cocaine Bear.
Right.
In the same way that, like,
I don't know what
It's a cocaine and a bear.
I watched Knock at the Cabin. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. And my expectations for his movies are very low.
Yeah.
Some people are just like, it's terrible. I can't believe it. I'm like, really? You can't believe? Like,
Right.
he doesn't make great movies. He's made some.
He made some great movies to start and rode off the rest of his career.
Right, exactly. So it's just like, Village, Happening. I mean, like, come on.
The Lady in the Water was perfection. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
Love the script.
enjoyed it, but I was like, this is not good.
I saw that in theaters. I think I mentioned it before. My friend, I love her so much, and because I love her so much, I went to see The Happening with her for her birthday because that was the movie she chose to see that.
Shit.
I was like, why? Why are we here?
The one important thing they forgot in that script was to give Zooey Deschanel a personality. That was the issue. She just did nothing in that movie, and it was horrible.
What?
No. God. Some of the M. Night movies have been rough. I mean, like Split was pretty good. Like that was kind of it's kind of a return to form. Like that's kind of a cool idea. But then Glass, I was like, Unbreakable is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Unbreakable.
Amazing.
And so the idea of
I very much enjoyed Signs.
Yeah.
Like it just sets the ambiance of fear.
Signs is good too.
I'll watch Sixth Sense every Halloween. I love that movie so much. It's good.
The Thing is the Halloween watch for me.
Oh yeah, the Thing's good too. That's a great one.
It's not a Christmas movie? Not in the snow?
No. The board game is great too as well.
Oh yeah, I've got that. I haven't played it yet though. I have so many great board games that I haven't played. I had the Assassin's Creed board game. Nice. I kickstarted it like 6 years ago, and I finally got it last year. Like it was a thing where they would like update it. So it was like 300 updates. It was like, this is what we're doing, and it's a model game too, where you actually like paint the models and stuff. Which I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever get that far into it, but. That it's in a box that's literally like this big. It's huge, and it's like, oh my gosh! And so,
what's the gameplay like?
I have no idea. I haven't played it. I've literally opened it and went like, and then put it back down, and so it's one of those things. Like it's going to take someone like dedicate some time to actually learn how to play it and do it right.
Let's do it,
Larry. Yeah.
There's a game called Nemesis, which is pretty much like Aliens the game. I have it, and it was very hard to get at first, and I still have yet to play it. And I think, was it Cody? Is Cody there? Yeah. Have we not played Nemesis?
We have. No, I played with Dan and
bullshit.
Oh,
you lied to
he
me.
played
See
without
that?
you.
Yeah, he played without me.
Yeah, he was like, oh, screw you for
But it's like everyone goes around this ship, and the whole point is to repair it and, you know, set a proper course. But everyone has different character roles, like a medic or like a sergeant, whatnot. But everyone also has like a secret agenda. Like some people might be wanting to crash the ship because they don't want aliens on it, or some people might want to like take aliens back to Earth, and then you roll around and like you find different areas, and then there's this whole like infection mechanic. Like you draw a bag and have like embryos and facehugger type creatures and all that kind of stuff, and you can also like get these infection cards, and it uses like the old school like red like 3D thing.
Oh,
you put it into an envelope to see if you're infected or not, and you don't tell people or tell people. So it's like cool stuff like that, and I got it, and I just have yet to play it. But it reminded me, you reminded me of that because like it has figures that are unpainted, but you could actually send them back to the company and pay for different tiers of figures that they could paint for you if you wanted yourself.
Wow. Okay.
So you can either have them just do like a straight gloss or of a color or whatever, or just fully deck it out with like detail and paint.
Yeah.
See, that's
like,
cool.
That's awesome.
I like that because I as much as I like the idea of modeling, like I don't think I could ever do that or dedicate the time. So I'm like, please make this look pretty. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'd like to play now.
Yeah,
So
I'll gladly hand this off to let someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. So the board game that we played when we went to go visit Kat and Jeremy was a legacy game called King's Dilemma. And
I want to say I know this game. I've heard this game before.
the game was awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's a legacy game, so it's like a one-time playthrough, which is just kind of something like we've been really enjoying because there's just so much story that carries over and like all the actions that carry over. And it was like, they say like average 15 chapters.
Did
and I think
Funhouse play that?
Oh,
Okay,
they
yeah,
did?
I knew I'd heard about it before. Yeah, Funhouse did like a long playthrough. They played like I guess because you.
That's what I wish we did with Let's Roll.
Yeah,
Like I
like,
wish
they-
we
well,
had like
They had a
actual
whole season where it was
long-
just that game.
Yep. I wish we did stuff like that because like legacy games are so much fun.
Yeah.
Like so there's like a king and you're all a part of the council and we all represented different houses. And so essentially, you know, an event card will be drawn and it's just like, you know, there's not enough food. Do you want to give the food like to the military or like to the people? And everyone has their own agenda of like where they're trying to push like military and like food or like, you know, the kingdom's money and all that kind of stuff. So, you know what I mean? You and I would be like, obviously, like you've got this other nation knocking at our door. We gotta do the military.
Gotta feed the military.
And then we'd be like, military, cool. And you'll put, you know, you'll be like, I'm for it, and you'll put some coin on it. And I'll be like, I'm for it. I'm gonna back you up, put a little bit of coin for it. And it'll get to like Lindsay. Lindsay will be like, you know what? I just, you know, I kind of really want to do for the people, and then like go against it, and then put more coin on it, and then so everyone's like, you know, trying to see where people's alliances like lay, and be like, oh, like Jeremy, like, come on, you're gonna back us up, right? And Jeremy like, no, I'm gonna pass and collect more while you guys duke it out because I have no say in this particular like event. And so it was really fun to like go back and forth, and our choices carried over, and it all culminated into this one big like ending story where we all made choices and choices for the story and also against each other. I remember like at the end when we found out like how everything was supposed to go, we sat there and we went, oh, everyone's gonna have to make some very important choices about how the story ends. And I remember just like looking across at Meg, I was like, Meg, you want to go have a talk? And Meg was like, let's have a talk. And then we just like got up and walked away.
To the war room.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then like we came back, sat down, and obviously Meg and I going to talk meant that Kat, Jeremy, and like Jackie were talking, so they were kind of aligned. And then I was just like, Jackie, would you like to talk? She was like, fuck no. And then I was just like, Meg, get her to talk, get her to talk, get her to talk. And then Meg was like, Jackie, you want to go? And Jackie was like, sure. And then they talked. And then I was with Jeremy and Kat, and I was like, look, this is what I told Meg.
There you go.
But I'm not with Meg.
No.
And so it's like all of this culminating, and it's like, man, I wish we did that stuff for like Let's Roll, where it's just like a longer story, a longer campaign that culminated in different things, because like it just develops so much story and inside joke and actions that carry over. And
Yeah, I want to say, didn't it is like Generations too, right? Isn't it a thing? Because I remember they were changing characters, or they were doing like, oh, that was my father who you dealt with before, so or maybe it was something else.
there was always a new king.
Maybe that's what.
Yeah,
it was.
so the king would either die or like reside, and so whoever won that chapter would name the next king.
Okay, maybe it was something like that.
Yeah.
Like whoever was the king then became a new character.
So it's like diplomacy mixed with resource allocation, and then it's like
different elements, and like, oh, there's this rumor of like treasure. You found a treasure map. There's a rumor of this like big grand treasure. Like, do you fund it? And then you're like, sure, we'll fund it. And then it'd be like, oh, it needs more funding.
Like
and then it'd be like, sure, I'll fund it one more time. And you see people falling off, but then people would have like secret agendas. Like Meg's agenda was like, this might have to do with my secret agenda. So I'm gonna keep pushing to fund this. And then also like, you could pay people off. So I'd be like, I'm done with this. And then Meg's like, look, if I pay you more, back me up. Oh, you know what? I could back you up for a little coin.
I'm not done
and
with
so
this.
like it's a good time. And the number of times I've betrayed Jackie in the voting rounds, brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Unsurprising. I'm like,
what?
That's why you make a good couple, you know.
Is trust also Jackie's greatest?
You stab her in the back and then you rub her back.
Right? Yeah, that's how it goes.
You stab me, I stab you. Yeah.
I'm like, look, it's all part of the game. It's all part of the game. It's okay. It's okay.
I feel like I hate doing like subterfuge and like trying to get into people's heads because I can never do that. I don't want to do that. But I feel like maybe if I'm playing with Jackie, I could be like, Jackie, you and me, alliance, this is it. What's up? Like, we'll join together.
I will say 80% of that, Jeremy and I were fucked. Because Kat, Meg, and Jackie just kept aligning with each other, and Jeremy were like, we can't win this vote. There's too much power on their side of the door. Like, how do we do this? How do we do this? And so we kept trying to navigate ourselves around their like unification, and we're just like, fuck, we're not getting any votes through. And they're dictating everything. Now we are turning people's blood into gold. Thanks.
Like the true alchemists. Well done.
Yeah. And then be like, oh, we have to kill the whole person to get the gold. And Jamie and I are sitting there like, what did you expect was going to happen? They're just like, yeah, blood to gold. Awesome. Wait, we had to kill the person? And Jamie and I are just like, well, I don't.
Can't just take a leg.
What do you think was going to happen? What do you think was going to happen? Blood to gold? Do you think it's just to be a little bit of an injection? It's all good? Like,
Slice of the hand.
Right.
Ooh, okay.
It's like, no, we're gutting people for this gold.
Did you get into character too? Because I love also with Let's Roll and like a bunch of different ones where we do like middle ages characters. I love doing stuff like that. So I'm thinking like in the midst of you guys trying to attack their defenses, they're like, oh, hold the fort, stay strong. Fredo is running the perimeter.
So like a Red Dragon in.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
And
there's a couple of different
But
games
more
like
so
that.
than anything, Jeremy and I being fucking idiots. There's so many times where like the decisions will go through and maybe I'll be the tiebreaker. And I just get up and I go, here we go, yet again.
Look out
to
the window
my
like
house and to my council for aid. And then they'd be like, God damn you, God damn. And then I would do all of that. And then I would, it'd be 2 votes yay, 2 votes nay. That's kind of how it goes. And then I would do all that and I go, this is what I will do. Pass. I abstain.
Yes.
Continue to fight.
God damn it. That's awesome.
Good luck.
Very much like a lord too. Let the commoners fight amongst themselves. That's fine.
I have no dog in this race. Continue to fight amongst yourselves.
That's awesome.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but I am exhausted right now. I spent this weekend at Disneyland. I went to California.
I had no idea you were in California.
Yeah.
What's up? Welcome back.
Well, it was a friend thing. So I went. So Austin FC had their first opening match Saturday night, 7:30 at night. I got home at about 11:30 at night, and then left for the airport at 4 a.m. because my flight was at 6 a.m. Because I then landed in LAX, and then my friend picked me up from the airport. We went straight to Disneyland, and we got there at like 9 in the morning. And yeah, it was awesome. So I spent a day there, or I went to California Adventure on Sunday, and then I went to Disneyland on Monday and spent full days there. And it was a thing where it's like, I've got a couple buddies that the 2 of us, or the 3 of us have always been like, we want to go to Disneyland. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. We just never were able to work it out. And we're like, it's this weekend. It's going to be on this weekend right here. And so we all been planning for it, and we finally made it happen. And just
decide to execute.
Had like a friend vacation at a theme park. Like no one was working. Like we all none of us worked together. Like we're all in the video game field, but it's like we don't directly interact with each other. But we all have like stories and able to like just talk to each other about that stuff. And it was a blast. It was so much fun to actually just get out there and just go have fun. Like I posted one photo from like hanging out because like, no, these are all for me. And the one photo I posted is because at Disneyland, the cast members there, they're not allowed to ask you to take photos.
Oh, really?
And I bumped into a cast member at Galaxy's Edge who was a huge fan. And I was like, hey, can I get a photo with you? And so I took a photo with him and then posted it so he could have the photo. And so, but other than that, it's like, no, those are all for me. Keeping all of them. And
that explains your post. I was like, okay, interesting, but all right.
Yeah, yeah. And then on Tuesday, I went out to Funhouse actually. So I went from Anaheim up to Funhouse up to Burbank. Those guys, their office is ridiculous. Like, so they just moved to a new office. They're like the 9th floor in Burbank. And like, I was looking out at like Universal Studios on one side, Disney on the other side. And it's like, oh, there's the Disney Animation Building right there.
That's
it's
awesome.
like, there's Bob Iger's office over there.
Okay.
That's cool. And then from one of their windows, I could see Universal Studios, like way out in the distance. But I'm like, oh, there's the Comcast building. And like, there's the Jurassic Park parking lot. And what the hell?
You know, Universal, Disney, Funhouse are pretty much on an even playing field. So.
Here we are with our flooded office.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
And the wild thing was yesterday, so the day after, or the day I got back, or the day after I got back, it was snowing at Disneyland. There was snow in Disneyland yesterday.
I saw.
In Anaheim. And in Funhouse. Like, there was snowing, like, I'm assuming Funhouse, because it was snowing at Disney, like actually Disney Studios.
Everyone I know who lives in LA is posting a bunch of pictures of snow and all these drizzles and flurries and stuff. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially us coming off of our recent, like, blizzard in Texas. So,
Yeah. It was wild, though. It's like, what the hell is going on with the weather here? It's like, my favorite things were people posting on Reddit when, like, Austin went through his freeze, where it's like, hey, is it weird that I'm upset because I don't have power due to the freeze and I can't turn on my air conditioner because it's 90 degrees outside? It's like, oh, that's weird that you don't have power because of a freeze. And it's so hot that you need AC. Yeah, it's
kind of fucked.
See, that is like
strange.
stereotypical Texas weather a bit, like just being crazy or random, but never like the big freezes that we've had before. Like, in the past
it's getting
couple
more
years.
and more intense the last couple of years. I think Texas is just eating itself at this point.
I think so.
I think this is a warning. I think we need to leave. I think it's time to get out. We need to abandon this state and just move on to a different one.
Should we cut it off like Florida? Just like the ocean?
Yeah, just chop it off the top like Bugs Bunny style.
Is that what's happening to the West Coast, like Bay Area, LA?
Oh, allegedly, yeah.
Yeah, it's slowly going to sink.
Sinking, slowly but surely.
Miami, we're going to lose Miami in a few years, but...
You're going to go hang with Hawaii. You'll be fine.
Hey, what's going on? It's me, Eric, and I know you're expecting Michael, but guess what? It's me, Eric, and I'm here to tell you about MeUndies. When was the last time you treated yourself to something quality? Now that MeUndies is available on the MeUndies website, Amazon, and in Nordstrom stores across the country, that's these great United States, you don't have to choose between quality and convenience. And right now, MeUndies is offering 25% off plus free shipping on your first order when you order through their website. That's what an offer for you. Shopping for MeUndies is super easy. You can feel their fabric and see their prints in person at select Nordstrom locations and even visit Amazon for men's and women's basics. And the MeUndies website is still the best way to explore all of your options. From men and women's undies to joggers, socks, and bralettes, there's something comfy for every need. Plus, if you get a MeUndies membership, you can save up to 30%. That can't be right. No, it says it right there, 30% on most purchases. The deal is too good. I just couldn't believe my eyes. Members also get tons of other perks like early access and free shipping. Here's the thing. I'm wearing them now. You can't see. I'm not going to show you. Naughty. But you know who talks about it all the time? Gus. You know who talks about them all the time? Michael. You know who has to hear about it all the time? Me, because I'm around those guys constantly. And they're talking about the great prints, the great feel, the great selection, the great deals on membership. Look, I love them. They're comfortable. They're the best undies I've ever worn. And I don't even say that word really ever, except when I'm doing an ad read or talking about MeUndies. So I really enjoy it, and I hope you'll check out this deal for 25% off your first order plus free standard shipping. Head to MeUndies.com/offtopic. That's MeUndies.com/offtopic. The off-topic is the important part, so you know that they have the support of you, the off-topic fan. The sale is only available for online purchases. Remember, if you're not 100% satisfied, it's on us. Us in this case is them, not me. But I am saying you will be satisfied. So check it out. MeUndies.com/offtopic. Thanks, MeUndies.
Yeah. So anyway, it was awesome though. Like Disneyland was a blast. Had a lot of fun out there. I rode the Spider-Man ride finally.
Oh,
it was cool. It was cool. Have you been to Disney World or Land?
Disneyland forever ago. I'm trying to think if they remodeled something to make the new Spider-Man ride you're talking
Well,
about.
it was all the Bugs Life area.
Okay,
So,
I remember it being a Bugs Life area.
yeah,
That was
so
like
they
the
kind of
interactive
gutted
4D
that
show?
sort of thing.
Okay, gotcha.
No, but there's a Spider-Man ride. It's like Midway Mania. I don't know if you ever did Toy Story Midway Mania, but it's like a shooting gallery game where you just like fire stuff. Like you're pulling a little thing and you fire stuff. Spider-Man ride is like the next evolution of that, where they're motion tracking you. And so there's a screen that pops down, and it's like, oh, you have to shoot these bugs, and you literally do like Spider-Man things.
That's cool.
Like when you're sort of starting, it literally shows your little 3D model of you, and it shows your arms, and you like move them around.
That's really
And
cool.
you see it moving. It's like, oh, it's tracking my arms. And so you literally like have to do this, which is fun for like the first 30 seconds. And it's like, God,
work
it's
out.
so
Fine.
Yes.
Is this what Spider-Man has to do?
So
And that's why
tired.
we're
Shit,
not
dude.
heroes. Exactly.
But if you want, they have DLC for that ride. So you can go outside
What?
and buy a web shooter that attaches to your wrist that has a button. And as far as I know, you just hit the button to do it. $35 for that. But then, if you want, you can
There's more.
you can get adapters for it to turn it into like the Iron Man repulsor or Shuri's like Panther gauntlets,
cool. Okay.
or
I know about
like
that.
electric web things,
Look.
or like spread shooters for another $45. Basically, you can spend $80
Look.
on a fancy, and that's for one arm. So if you want
How much
both
would
arms,
you
Right.
spend in Marvel Snap?
And look,
you're talking $160.
scummy as hell. But here's my wallet.
Scummy
There you
is
go.
yummy.
Like,
Scummy can be yummy.
Dude,
damn you! You tell me I can modify my web slinger to become Iron Man's pulse.
That's pretty cool.
and but they
I
also
shouldn't have to pay for that, but God,
they
damn.
show you
We
your
won't. We're
score,
adults here.
and they literally have leaderboards on the way out where you can see how you did over the course of like the day and the week and the month. And it's like, oh no, I don't know if there's a way to track it on your phone. Like, if there's a way to track your scores, and like, this is how
I'm sure
how
there's
well
someone
you
who's
did.
like, I'm the top web slinger. It's me.
Probably.
I'm the
They're
top
probably.
Fucker.
Yeah.
But did that. That was a lot of fun. And then we went on Smuggler's Run, which was the you fly the Millennium Falcon. So at Galaxy's Edge in Batu, you can fly the Millennium Falcon.
I haven't seen any of that. I've seen the Sims version, which I assume is very much like the same experience.
No, I doubt it.
I would love to see
I
Galaxy's
doubt
Edge.
it.
Seems
Basically,
awesome.
Smuggler's Run is a video game where you're piloting the Millennium Falcon, and you are literally piloting the Millennium Falcon.
Can I crash it?
You can. There's literally you have two pilots side by side. One controls up and down. It's like inverted, so you pull back, it goes up. Push down, it goes down. The left pilot controls left and right, and you have to work together. So, like to keep the pilot, keep the ship aligned. You have two gunners who behind you. They literally have a screen where it's like target high, medium, or low, and they're having to hit buttons to target stuff in front of you. And then behind them is two engineers that if you get shot at or if the pilots wreck your thing, they have to repair stuff.
Obviously, I would not do this because this would ruin someone else's experience. But I instantly cut to a scenario in my head with me piloting with other random people and me just looking back, just crashing, just going, guys, sorry, it's my first day here. Not sure how to do this.
Here's the deal. I'll tell you how to do that. What you do is ride as a solo rider, because they almost always put you as an engineer in the back because there's way to fill it. And then ride as a solo rider with like two children in the pilot seat who don't know what they're
Oh,
doing.
they'd
And
love
they're like,
it.
wee!
Yeah.
And just dragging the nose of the Millennium Falcon along the whole thing. And you're sitting there like, I hate this. This is horrible. Because like stuff's happening. And
Yeah, you can't see any of it.
Yeah.
Just getting
and
dragged
so
along.
my buddy and I, we were the pilots. He was the right, I was the left and right. He was up and down, and we actually did really, really good. And I was like, oh my god, we actually had a really good time doing that. I was like, let's go do it again. But what they have Chewbacca mode, where if you push in the right combination of buttons before you start the attraction, they have a guy named Hondo Ohnaka, who's like I think he's in Clone Wars, and anyway, he's a character in the universe who runs like the smuggling ring. Usually,
Yeah, gotcha.
oh yeah, there's
That fit, yeah.
Fucking
that's
cool.
the attraction. That's the attraction right there. So there's the two pilots, and then the two gunners, and the engineers are on
That's cool.
behind
So
them.
you're telling me like pretty much all the buttons that we're seeing, you can interact with this.
Oh yeah, you can push all of them, but only a few of them will actually work. But then so Hondo Ohnaka is usually he's like narrating the attraction. So as you're going, it's like, oh, fire at this, like watch out for that. Okay, get behind this, and then fire the cannons to do this. And it's like, okay, cool. So you can replace that character with Chewbacca, and it's literally him just yelling at you the whole time. And it's
Yes.
like you don't know what you're saying
Right,
unless
no clue.
if you've never done it before. You have like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Right.
And like the buttons will light up green or whatever, so you kind of know what to do. But yeah, he'll just yell at you, and you just like you don't know what's going on. So it's really you need to like know what you're doing in order to do stuff. Like I missed a button press because like hit the boosters and I forgot. So like dragging across the bottom of the ground, and it's like, oh yeah, and I hit it. But anyway, so we did it the second time. We did Chewbacca mode, and by then we kind of knew what we were doing. Like, there's a point where if you don't hit the brakes fast enough, this thing like jerks you off the end of it, and you fall and you crash. And I was like ready for the brake, and I like hit it, and I did it just in time, and he actually saved it, and it was like we rocked that thing. It was so much fun.
Man,
I love that for you too, and I imagine I don't think you did, but the people go to Disney World and they like get custom shirts and stuff. It's like this family is going here. I'm like, do you guys get custom shirts? Do you dress up? Is this your crew now?
Well, they do sell pilot helmets there, so you can literally get one of like the helmets and actually ride in it too.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and so like doing that now we're like, oh, okay, because we like you can get up to I think 13 or 14,000 points, and we got like 9,000, and it's like we can max that out. We can clean this up. We can do it just right.
We can do it.
So, but we want to build up a crew, so we have 3 of us. So we have to get 3 more to be like, who's our crew? And ideally, if you do it right, you don't need the engineers at all, pretty much, because like the engineers, if you do it clean, you never hit anything. Although the engineers do tether some coaxium, so you're chasing down coaxium, and so you collect one in the ride, and then you have a chance for a second one, and we got it both times we did it, because we got the pilot, we got the ship right behind it, and like the engineer has to like rip it off basically.
We got to do like an annual pass Achievement Hunter crossover visit. It sounds like
I want to take annual pass and Achievement Hunter out to Universal Studios, because Super Nintendo World's open now.
Oh yeah.
And it's just down the street from Funhouse, so we can do that for sure.
I saw that Fiona just went to, and she took a picture with Princess Peach. I was very jealous.
Nice.
Definitely want to meet her. Yeah.
There's DLC in that one too. You can get power bands. They have 6 different power bands, like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad,
Daisy.
Or is it? I don't know if Daisy, but maybe it's Daisy. No, it's Yoshi and Fire Flower.
Gotcha.
And you wear those, and there's blocks around Super Nintendo World where you could hit them, and they go like ding, and you actually collect coins, and you can use the app and see how many coins you've collected.
Oh, cool.
And they have keys hidden around. And if you collect all the keys, then you can go fight Bowser Jr. in like a secret area.
That's cool. I was going to ask what the reward was for getting all those coins too.
Yeah.
But the keys is cool. That's awesome.
And they also have the Mario Kart game too, where you like track your stats, and it's like you can see how well you've done in Mario Kart, and there's achievements, and it's like they're gamifying theme parks now, which is
they
like
should, I would think.
Yes and no, because yes, for people like us that understand how it works. No, for people like, I just want to take my kids to a theme park one day and have a good time.
True.
Not come back in 3 years. You know, it's like people like me, I'm like, I'm going to come back 3 or 4 times this year and do this. And I know what I'm doing and have a lot of fun with it.
And a lot of my life obviously involves video games. So my kids are video games. They know the mechanics.
Like for some people it's fantastic, but for other people it's like, I just want to turn my brain off and like, let's go watch the Animal Actors show. It's like, oh, okay.
That's fair.
But you know, but it's like to get the full experience out of it, now you have to be engaged with it. And like now you have to have a phone out and you have to buy this wristband for it. So it's kind of a give and take. It's like this new, more modern take on theme parks and attractions, but also you're kind of removing the classic style of like, I just want to go and just like turn my brain off and have a good time and see characters and walk through the castle and ride a carousel and be fine and see Mr. Toad. But anyway, if you want to hear more stuff like that, go listen to Annual Pass. Yay!
Sure. Also,
it's a podcast.
Mr. Toad is a Disney ride. Yeah, but then there's also, for 2 seconds, I was like, Mr. Toad is just Toad, dude. Like, wow.
No, Toad is his son. No, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is still at Disneyland. It's gone from Disney World, though.
No.
And I want to say Winnie the Pooh replaced Mr. Toad.
Did they open up Tiana's new ride also?
No. So in Florida at Magic Kingdom, they shut down Splash Mountain. Because Tiana's replacing Splash Mountain, the kind of the theming of it, so it's Tiana's attraction. And
isn't Splash Mountain like iconic?
You say that, but it was opened in 1990, so it's not. I mean, it's 30 years old, but I mean, at this point, the park's been open since '71 in Florida and '55 in Disneyland. So it's new, but also the backstory. If you really dive into the backstory of Splash Mountain, not so great.
Well, it's from Song of the South, the movie.
Yeah, do you know the movie Song of the South?
Yeah.
Song of the South. We actually did an episode of Annual Pass on it. If you want to get more information.
History lesson, everyone. Strap in.
Song of the South was a movie that came out in the '60s.
I think so.
And it was basically based off a series of books written by a guy who went around and collected stories from former slaves, and then wrote them in very stereotypical, speak like that. And so, he kind of created a character named Uncle Remus, who told all of these stories to like a young white child. And then one of the stories was about Brer Rabbit, or like you talk about Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox. It was all of these characters, kind of like the analogs for like, here's the moral of the story, blah blah blah.
Right.
And so,
Aesop fable.
Yeah. And so they made a movie, which was actually, I mean, at the time it was groundbreaking because it was animation and live action blended together.
Have you seen Roger Rabbit?
Yeah. So first time anything like that had happened, and the movie was very, very successful. And like Zippity Doo Dah came from that. Like that's probably the biggest song from it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it came from that movie. But then the further and further away you got from kind of the release of it, the more I was like, oh, maybe this is not appropriate. And then, but then in the 90s, like I guess they were showing it in theaters like up to the 80s, and then so in the late 80s they put Splash Mountain out in Disneyland. And it was a huge success. It was a very, very popular ride. So they put it in Magic Kingdom and in Japan as well. And people like love it. But a lot of people just didn't know the full backstory of it. And then, as we got more and more further away from it. So back in 2020, it was like, a lot of people were starting to take a finer tooth comb to this stuff. Be like, oh, this is actually based on some really messed up stuff.
I think with the critical lens applied to media now, especially, it seemed like everyone was kind of in a general consensus from both the theme park standpoint and then the audience standpoint, going like, yeah, let's update this. Let's renovate this.
1946 was the film. Thank you, 2x4.
Nice. 46. Wow.
But yeah. So anyway, so back around then, Disney was like, hey, we're going to retheme this thing. We're not going to tear it down. It's going to be roughly the same ride, but we're going to retheme it to Tiana. And it was just like, okay, cool. So it's going to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure is the new version of it.
And I want more Tiana lore all around. Like I can go into depth about Disney princesses. I love that stuff. But like I know she has the new show coming out soon, which hopefully will explore her character a bit more. But I do want more Tiana all around. So the fact that she's in the park now and has her own ride, not just as a character, like there's a place you can go and have like the Tiana experience. I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Well, I mean, they have a French Quarter at Disneyland, which, I've seen Dr. Facilier walking around before, and I've seen Tiana around there before. But yeah, actually have her own park, and they're doing a Tiana's Place restaurant as well. So I want to say they're retheming one of the things, maybe not a restaurant, but like a shop or something they're converting over to her
That's
stuff.
also cool. I mean, it would make sense to have a restaurant too, and they better have beignets there.
Yeah.
So help me God.
But yeah, so it's pretty interesting stuff, and it's like, but a lot of people, of course, they through shit fits because like, how dare you destroy this classic attraction? It's like, again, only been around for about 30 years.
Right.
And it's like, and also based on horribly racist stuff. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe.
We'll be fine.
But yeah, it was out of control because it shut down. So it shut down in Florida already, and it's shutting down in Disneyland in Anaheim pretty soon. The only reason why it's still up in Anaheim is because Indiana Jones, the attraction over there, is currently down.
Oh,
and
really?
so they don't have the capacity for that because like they've already removed a massive attraction. So taking down another very big attraction is going to be pretty tricky to do. So they're waiting for Indy to come back before they shut down that.
That ride's good.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
But that'll be open next year.
Side note, beignets / partying. Did y'all celebrate Mardi Gras? Do you do Mardi Gras?
There was a king cake in the break room.
I saw Emily brought us one. Thanks, Emily.
I had a bite of that. I didn't get the baby, but I had a bite
baby
of it.
Jesus.
No.
Is it going on right now?
It passed. So that was last Tuesday, and I only knew because I opened up my calendar on my phone and I went, oh, fuck, it's Mardi Gras. Like, just life came at me fast.
How do I collect necklaces?
So, you have the tatas. You want to free the tatas. But
You can't do that on Instagram.
no, not anymore. Free the nip.
Twitter, you're fine. You can free the tatas on Twitter.
Dude, it's funny. It's people posting full movies on Twitter.
Oh,
That
really?
too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've been getting so much like spam stuff now on Twitter, and like the ads are absolute trash.
Dude, the fact that you have to get Twitter Blue for two-step verification.
And that's
Pretty
ridiculous.
absurd.
Well, at least two-step via text verification, which is the easiest one. And so they have apps you can download and still keep that two-step verification. But but they're getting rid of all like the legacy blue check marks pretty soon. Which, I understand, like, some people like,
Because
oh,
you're an
whatever.
imposter.
But well,
Yes.
that's the thing. It's like, honestly, more than anything, it's about verifying who that person is. Because, I've been in the boat where people have, like, pretended to be me on Facebook. And I'd be like, what the, like, I had to get Facebook to take them down. Like, I've had to send my driver's license to Facebook to be like, this is me. I am this person.
That's crazy.
For them to remove people who are imitating me. And so that's what this was all about. It was all about, like, you were verified. So it's like, you can say, that's me. That's my account. And so they're just getting rid of that now. And it's like, well, yeah, okay. I mean, like Twitter's been dying anyway as far as like interactions and stuff. Like we'll post stuff on there where it's like, hey, follow this link or watch this video. And it's like maybe, like 400,000 people will see it and then maybe 200 people will click
It's like
it.
a closed ecosystem at this point, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't do social media anymore.
That's a good move.
better off for it.
That's a good move.
Yeah, but I should.
Well, it's part of our job. It's like mandatory, yes.
Yeah. But it's just like shooting stuff here, then going home and like streaming, and then also having two pups, and then finding time with Jackie, and I'm like, I don't have time for fucking social media. On social media.
Like I'm going back to like me in my 20s and thinking about why I got into Twitter aside from work was like I did like the community aspect. I like being able to see people, and also, I mean, the positive side of social media, I guess, is like there's a lot of culmination of ideologies that I hadn't had the chance to engage with just being in the physical place that like I was raised. I guess there's a lot of chance to experience other viewpoints that you wouldn't have had before, a lot of, again, community that I didn't find in my physical location. But along with that, it's like there's a crap ton of mental health issues that come along with it. Now, again, with all this like the commercialization of every bit of social media now, like every little thing that could be charged, they will charge you, the user, to use this platform. I'm like, God, man, it just seems like it's like Disney on Twitter. They're charging me they're making me buy all the wristbands. I don't want this. I just want to be able to post my tweet.
You gotta pay for Disney Plus or Genie Plus. Yeah, it's falling apart. And like, you know, social media again, like we are in a situation where it's like we kind of have to use social media in some form or fashion to promote stuff, or like, you know, we all have like we have podcasts that we got to talk about and like help promote those. But it's like I just want to avoid that pool. It's like,
yes.
It's like I see the kids splashing around in it and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to deal with it. But it's like,
Agreed. I saw some discourse too about like just another voice actor that I follow was saying like, what do you like social media platforms if you're following someone where they just market themselves? Like you treat it purely as a commercialization process, that's it.
Right.
Or do you like the persona behind it? Do you like having a little bit of like pulling back the curtain? I'm like, that's tough because I do feel like we've kind of turned into like, you have to only market yourself to protect yourself. You can't really be as open about anything really as like I used to be. I don't know. Like I used to post about just like daily updates in my life. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. No way.
Well, it's just, I mean, granted, it is just like, obviously it's like being in this position, it's like boohoo you, but like, it's also just, you know, you'll post something and everyone always looks for the smallest thing to just pick at. Like I could post a picture of sushi and be like, how dare you eat fish? Why are you killing? I'm like, well, I'm just eating sushi with my girl.
Just chilling.
Like, I'm just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just fucking chilling.
it's like here's a statement and here's my justification for that statement. It's
Right.
like, God damn
No,
it.
it's funny you say that. I laughed. I had a friend from back home message me after I posted one Instagram post where I literally just had some essential oils that made my house smell nice. That's it. All I wanted was diffuser oil to make my house smell good. And I got a bunch of responses of people understandably getting confused and going, oh, you like essential oils that won't cure cancer, like your horrible mom. Was like, whoa, I just want my house to smell nice. Hold on. Hang the fuck on. So my friend who had no knowledge about like this world or like what this is like, she was like, are you okay? I just watched you post like 6 disclaimers about your oils. I was like, I'm good, man. It's fine. Just
You're not going full Steve Jobs.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's why I like just posting about theme park stuff. It's just like it's basically as non-offensive as you can get, but then people still find ways to make it like people like trying to like, you know, ruin your yum or whatever, or ick your yum. Okay. Yuck your yum. That's
Michael's
that's
favorite
word.
phrase.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I'll admit it. Back in the day, I would be like that guy about certain things, like the whole like My Little Pony thing. I was like, why the fuck I don't get it? But now I'm like, that was stupid. Like that was stupid. It's like people want to do that, let them have it. It's like, and so I can look back on that and be like, okay, that was dumb of me, but that was also 10 years ago at this point. It feels like. So
there's a lot of like edgelord culture too.
Yeah.
That's kind of rightfully.
Well, it is a popular thing to be like negative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I remember like a year ago, I posted, you know, I haven't seen my grandma in years. A picture of me and my grandma, and then someone like, why did you do? I can't believe you killed fucking Gavin in this damn Achievement Hunter video. I hate you. I'm like,
my grandma,
bro. There's a picture of me and my grandma. Like you could just tweet that at me. You didn't reply to at my like. I haven't seen my grandma in years. They're like, hold on. So that moment in that Achievement Hunter video, and I'm like,
cute sentimental moment. Back to business, real quick.
That's why I just go.
Most important thing.
Yeah, that's the thing too. People are like, oh, when you said this, it was hilarious, or when you said this, it was horrible. Like, I don't remember saying that. Like the amount of hours of content I've produced for this company over the past 15 years, I'm like, sure, I probably said that at some point. I have no idea what the context was, and like unless you can give me a clip of me saying that. But I've watched videos where I'm like, we covered this game. That's cool. And I watch it, I'm like, oh, it's me playing. Like, oh shit, I did not remember doing that at all.
It feels like a sleeper agent sometimes, and I'm like, wait, I edited this. Wait, I was in this. Wait, like I told this joke. Oh my god,
definitely a bit trippy. But
also just talking about like people being contrarian. I like the idea of like I've seen hypotheticals where people will post just like something to be like tear it down, like roast it in the way the internet would. And it's so funny. It's like someone will post a picture of a dog and they're like, oh, you don't like cats? It's like, oh, what are you saying? You're like 2-legged animals? Like you don't like snakes? It's like just going on this whole trail. And I like the satire aspect. That's funny. If we can at least laugh at the fact that people are just so uptight online, I'll take it.
Oh man, the satire right now. Like, have you seen the Biden versus Trump memes, like with the audio?
No,
like,
I don't think so.
You showed me that.
Dude, so there's this new thing going around. It's like deepfake audio, which is eerily good. It's like people have been taking
As a voice actor, I'm not nervous.
Yeah, I mean that's what they did with like James Earl Jones for what was it, the Obi-Wan series, like so like a lot of that wasn't actually, I mean it was actually James Earl Jones, but it was a computer assisted voice thing.
What?
Yeah, so if you watch Obi-Wan, like James Earl Jones is he's like 90 something now, and so he's not really out there doing like Obi-Wan, come and join me. It's like no, he's not that dude anymore. So they used AI to help kind of clean it up and make it sound more like he would have sounded in that time. Anyway, that technology has expanded and changed where now you can literally just send audio clips of a person talking to an AI and they can extrapolate what that person's cadence and tone sounds like and then just type out something. It'll spit out what that person is, like them saying something new. And it's eerie. It's like, I mean, the thing is right now, people are using it for comedy, which is like, so there's a big thing right now. It's Biden and Trump playing video games. So people take like clips from the internet of like two people playing a video game just yelling at each other being stupid and then just redub it all with Biden and Trump doing that. There's some really, really funny shit there. And it's like, okay, cool. It's funny now. And it's going to make a turn at some point where someone's going to release audio of Biden saying something horrible. And it's going to be like, oh no, that was actually fake. But now we're at the point where we have to, how do you defend something that's not real, that people don't understand isn't real?
Especially with the digital divide, it's like, okay, one, we have to explain to some people what the internet is still. So hang on.
But it's eerie because it's like, oh, this is dangerous, like the whole deepfake thing came out, like the deepfake porn stuff was just a nightmare. But it's like, that was the extreme of it, where it's like, okay, but now there's going to be subtle stuff where it's like, I have a clip of you saying this vaguely racist thing. Like, can you explain this? And it's like, that's not me. Or people who did say shit like that now saying, oh, that was actually a computer saying that. That wasn't me saying that. That was.
I didn't think about
legal
that.
trappings.
So
oh my gosh,
there's so much shit now to deal with, and I'm like, and that's just audio. I mean, like once it gets to the point where video is that good, then it's like that's a whole other ballgame.
Well, you can tell with some of the videos like deepfaking, but also AI. I saw there was a recent post of like a fake post of Biden like announcing that there was going to be a draft, and same thing. There were people who were taking it seriously. And it had to be the big explanation of like, this is fake, this is not real. I know there are a lot of voice actors I've seen posting on Twitter talking about how they have to check their NDAs and contracts now because there are hidden AI clauses sometimes, and it's like, oh, you don't know if you're signing up to like give your voice away, basically. I'm like, that's messed up.
Oh shit!
Right?
Yeah.
Creepy.
It's that kind of stuff. It's fascinating and terrifying.
Yeah.
Which is like, again, right now we're in the infancy of it, where it's like, okay, this is like what they're doing with the satire and funny, like that stuff, the comedic stuff, where it's obviously not these people saying this stuff. I'm okay with that. And like that's like, all right, you're using it, with a massive public person, but it's like, what if someone starts recording their buddies and it's like, okay, and then drops it in and is able to manipulate their voices, and that's the scary stuff.
Yeah.
That's scary. But how do we do the next 7 days where it's all of us AI voice generated?
Are you kidding me?
Can you like train it and then you just type it and so it's live? So we're just typing the whole time. We're not talking.
I don't know.
Typing.
That's the thing I'm nervous about, because like you have to basically upload audio to a website, then it like then like the AI kind of takes it over and does stuff. But it's like, what happens to that audio you give it? It's like, do they own that now?
I mean, I'm sure they store it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I'm sure people have like, there's probably a Biden and Trump like, category already where it's like, oh, it's just log their information and there you go.
I'm gonna start talking like a computer just so that they know. Hello, everyone. This is Lindsay, not the AI.
That's
Hey Jack, there is actually software out right now where it will do it in real time.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can modify your voice.
So we could AI this podcast right now.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
wait, sorry, are you saying it'll take what you're saying and then turn it and like change the voice to somebody else's voice, like on the fly?
On the fly.
Jesus Christ,
Holy
that is
shit.
horrifying. That is
terrifying. Yes.
horrifying.
Also, how do I implement that into Among Us?
Right. See, I like where you're thinking. The capabilities.
Hello, I am Jeremy, and I am killing this person.
I'm Jeremy, and I'm an imposter. Here I am.
It was me the whole time.
Think about different generations too, and like my kids who are going to be growing up with this, just like as part of their life. I'm laughing about the number of times where I like faked being sick. I'm like, I can call my school and be my mom. Yeah, it's like, dude, they could totally tell, obviously. But like with AI, I'd be like,
Yeah.
my mom says I'm sick. Like, aha, did it.
So that's the kind of stuff was like,
Wild.
If you would have asked me in the 90s, like, what's the future going to be like? It's like,
everyone-
dealing with virtual racists. Like, like that is not something I would have thought. I thought it was going to be Back to the Future Part 2.
Sorry.
We have hoverboards.
We got the self-strapping sneakers. That's all we got.
Yeah, we got those. Those were expensive.
Yeah, and very limited.
Yeah, very, very limited. But anyway, that's...
Other 90s-esque future things. What has the future that we are in now given you that younger Jack would go, yeah, awesome?
I mean, phones. Like, the idea of like you literally have the world's knowledge in the palm of your hand. That at any time you can access it and be like, who was this actor in this movie from like 1940? It's like, oh, okay, cool, got it, nailed it. And it's like that's the stuff for me. I mean, these are. Like, and the fact that like the camera on here is more powerful than anything I had access to when I was in college.
Yep.
It's like that's the wild stuff. It's like you can shoot full-length features on this and make it look incredible.
Along with that, I've been working on VTubing like crazy. Thank you all for watching any of the RWBY VTubing stuff if you've seen it. But on that note, I've been using the VTuber like mobile app, and I was talking to Trevor about it, who's kind of like figuring out how we're gonna film stuff, how this is gonna work. He's like, what kind of space can we give you? What recording space do you need? I was like, right here, baby, that's it. This is my studio now, right?
Wild.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's for me, like this little piece of technology right here.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when the first iPhone came out, it was 3 things in one. It was a phone, it was an iPod, and it was a camera, I think, all in one.
I mean, the fact that it was
it
was putting my iPod Nano and my phone together. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I'm buying this thing. Like, this is awesome. I don't gotta carry 2 things. I just keep it in one. That's sick.
But now, aside from my driver's license, like I don't need to carry any physical card of anything anymore. It's like my car is on here, my credit card's on here.
I have a wallet attached.
I just have everything in like the fucking MagSafe wallet.
Yeah.
That's the thing too that I enjoyed recently is not carrying keys anymore.
Yep.
I don't have to fucking carry car keys.
Yeah.
I have to carry house keys. I don't have to carry any keys. I have everything it's like digital. And that comes with its own problems and all that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know. I'm about it.
Katie and I almost got locked out of our house the other day because our front door lock ran out of battery.
Oh, ran out of battery?
Yeah. So we walked up to the front door and like usually it unlocks automatically. It was like, there's an error, and I could hear it like beeping, like doing the low battery. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I have a key in the car, and like I had a spare key in our car.
Yeah,
so I was able to
you just
unlock
keep
it.
a spare.
But it was just like, oh man, that's
Yeah.
And so that was a little bit tricky. But other than that, it's like technology is pretty cool. You can do a lot of neat stuff with it.
I enjoy having the what was it, like the chip reader like lock? So I just go up with my watch and just go boop, or my phone and go boop, and it just unlocks.
Dude, the watch is the best too, because like
It's easy.
I lose everything. So even with the phone, sometimes I'll put it down and I'm like, fuck, I lost my phone. Like that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I love paying for shit with like Apple Pay's been around for a while, but I like paying for shit with like the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
And like
You feel like a spy.
it's
You feel like a
awesome.
spy.
It's awesome because it's like, I don't know, it's totally not necessary, but it's like you're bagging stuff and it's like you already have it. It's like an additional feature that's nice. It's like I'm bagging stuff, carrying stuff, and I just go, boop, done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although, the 1 out of 10 times where the store doesn't take it, you look like a fucking idiot.
That
We just go,
a lot.
HEB. Yeah.
And then just go, we don't do that. We don't do the Apple Pay. And I go,
I'm just dancing.
oh, fuck. Okay, here you go. But I mean, I like having, like when I travel, like I have my boarding pass on here. And then I just go up and I just scan my boarding pass and I keep going. Like I don't have to pull stuff out. I don't have to have it printed out on my phone or anything. Like I just have my earbuds in, go up, boop, and then it's like, which seat am I? And I check it 15 times because even though I see that I'm there, it's like 5C, and I go 2 minutes later, I go, which one again? Oh, 5C. I always do that every time.
I'm the same way.
But it's like super easy and convenient.
I also like the number of times where I get up with my watch to scan my boarding pass, and I'm like, oh crap, hang on. I'm like, I'm holding up the line now. My phone always turns off, but yes.
Man, I watched La La Land on the plane coming back from LA. Such a good movie. Such a good movie.
Also
I
very
still
appropriate for a
have
trip
yet to
back
see
from
it.
LA.
Sorry?
Appropriate for a trip back from LA.
Yeah, it felt appropriate. Actually, well, on the way there, so again, my flight was at 6 a.m., and so I put it on, and I was like, cool, and just passed out. And so, like, it's funny, because in the movie at one point, Ryan Gosling's making, like, a cake, essentially, and burns it, and a fire alarm goes off. And so I was just passed out, and all of a sudden, just beep, beep, and it just scared the shit out of me. It startled me. I was like, oh, God. Oh, my heart. And then I was like, okay. And I was like, so I knew that was
Ryan
coming
Reynolds
up.
is here. It's okay.
Yeah. No, Gosling.
Sorry.
Ryan
Still.
Gosling.
No, he's so handsome. He's dreamy. But no, Emma Stone is fantastic in that movie. You not seen it?
No.
You're not a musical guy, are you?
I mean, I don't know, like, not for the most part, but the musicals that I do watch, I like love.
Yeah.
Like Sweeney Todd and
Okay.
Moulin Rouge.
Fredo saw Lion King.
Like I'll watch that a million times. Yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of watching. Yeah, you invited Jackie and I to go watch Lion King on Broadway. That was fucking awesome.
I'm sick. I also
I'm
like
just
it
not
when
one to
they're-
chase down musicals.
Gotcha. They happen to you.
Yeah,
Musicals.
it happened to me, and I go, "This is cool." And then you go, "New musicals out," and I go, "I don't know."
Oh yeah, no, I'm fascinated by musicals because the idea of like storytelling through a different medium like that is such a cool thing to do. And
Especially live theater, I like. It's like I say triple threat, but it's true. It's like those people are singing and dancing and acting their asses off, and they don't get a second take. That's it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So, but Emma Stone in that movie is fantastic. Like, there's a monologue she has when like, so Ryan Gosling basically forces, or he doesn't force her, but he's like, "Hey, there's this thing you need to go to." And she's like, "I don't think I should do it." And he's like, "No, you need to do it." And then she goes on this this monologue, basically saying like how she feels about it. And it's like her face is watching her face react, and like as she's dealing with stuff in her head, it's like, God damn, she's acting the shit out of this scene. And so, and then she goes and sings, and it's like, holy shit, like what? That's no fair. Save some talent for the rest of us,
Just
please.
a whole damn skill set. Just people like
Lady Lily says, "I believe they're adapting La La Land to Broadway. If that is true, I will 100% go to New York to go see that."
That seems like a very
I
natural
would
adaptation.
love to see that.
That's cool. Sorry, what you were saying?
So, yeah, sorry.
what was I gonna say? I don't know.
Well, Manic Mouse also pointed out that Joker 2 is going to be a musical.
It is.
God, what the fuck?
I don't care.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
I wasn't a huge fan of
DC.
Joker. Joker is one of those movies that like people got the wrong message from the Joker. Like that's like people went to Fight Club and like, yeah, let's start a fight club. It's like,
Yeah.
you did not pay attention to the message of that movie. And this one, like, oh, yeah, it's like you watch Joker and you're like, oh wow, like yeah, he was fighting against the system. And it's like, no, like that's not what you should be carrying from that movie.
No.
And so anyway, people are like, oh, Joker 2. And I'm like, no, I don't like that at all. Like,
I love Lady Gaga's discography. I am cool with her acting. That's fine. I'm not seeing anything like incredible here. I'm not saying she's going to win Academy Award.
Star is
or
Born was
anything.
great.
It was. I liked it.
Oh?
I have
Okay.
opinions.
Okay.
But that's all. That's me.
Fine.
I think the dynamic between her and Joaquin Phoenix, between like a Joker and a Harley Quinn character, I'm really excited to see, because I do think they could take that into a beautifully gritty area, which DC is always doing. It's like, let's make it dark. I'm like, cool, I want that. But I don't know how much like more story you can tell between Harley and Joker. Like, what is going to be the plot? What else can we explore in their relationship that we haven't touched on before?
Well, also
Am I wrong?
that Joker too, that version of Joker is supposed to be so grounded in reality. It's like, how are you going to take that to the next level? Like, are you going to make him like fighting Batman? Like, are you going to jump in time? It's
I
like,
guess so. Yeah, he'll start doing petty crimes, etc.
yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's just because he's in Arkham, right? Like the movie ended with him in Arkham, and then maybe he killed the person he was talking. And it's just a mess.
Yeah, that's where he meets Harley. So.
I was gonna say he's probably gonna meet her and they're gonna have the entire like psychiatrist aspect, and like that's also a whole thing. Are they gonna watch? Like, are we gonna watch Harley turn into Harley Quinn? Are we gonna have that whole thing, or are they just gonna start us with their partnership and then crime?
True.
And a musical, like I don't know.
I'm not surprised.
This is coming from
'cause
someone that
Gaga's
likes
in it.
musicals.
Right?
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't understand how they can adapt that. Because again, like if you would have shown anyone the first Joker movie, which, you know, super intense movie, you know, however you want to take it, and then go like, oh, by the way, the sequel's a musical. It's like,
A very
what?
tonal-
Like
tonal
that
shift, yeah.
doesn't
I
make sense at all. you
I
know?
have no idea. I mean, honestly, like, I hate it because like Ezra Miller just seems like a complete trash person, but the Flash movie does look cool. And even then, I'm just like, this is a great time to like reset all of it. But it's like, we're gonna reset, but keep some aspects, and then also some things are still coming, like Aquaman 3.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't like make a clean cut and then
Yeah, like Blue
move
Beetle,
forward.
Aquaman 3 are still coming.
Right.
Yeah, and
It's just like, I get like, you know, you don't want to like Batwoman everything, but
Yeah.
it's just like you then
what-
release it later, like make a clean cut and then move forward. And then you also still have the Batman, which is set in its own universe. It's
well, yeah. What do they call? Because like James Gunn called like the Batman and the Batman 2, like that's in a different kind of alternate universe, but they call it like a not a legacy one, but there was a term he used for it. It's like, this is a blank Batman, or this is a blank movie. And so I figure Joker kind of fits in that as well. It's like, oh, it exists somewhere in the multiverse, but it's like not part of the main storyline of the multiverse.
very weird.
Got
Yeah.
you.
And so, but
Well, see, now I want to see the concept that they have with movie Joker, but applied to other DC characters. Like I would love the same grit and intensity behind Joker with like Aquaman. I was wanting to be like, fuck, they're taking our fish. We gotta fight back.
Well, did you see
sing about
polluting
it.
the oceans? Yeah, exactly.
Did you see the Saturday Night Live thing where they did the Grouch?
No. I don't think so.
It was Sesame Street. It was the Grouch in the trash can, except it was done like the Joker.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic, really well done. Actually, Mike Diva did it. And so,
really? No, I saw that he's doing a bunch of SNL stuff.
Yeah, he did the Mario Kart thing too.
Hell yeah.
Which is like
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Good for you, Mike.
Yeah, Mike Diva he did the Bash Brothers, the SNL thing, or the Andy Samberg Lonely Island thing. He did. God, I mean, he's done
a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
He's very popular on YouTube. I know his YouTube stuff.
He's worked
I was a
with
big fan of his
Lil
channel.
Nas X on a bunch of stuff as well. And so, anyway, very, 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 very talented internet video guy who then has transferred that onto the larger.
I remember watching Mike Diva, Freddie Wong, and Quarter Digital.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, man, these people are doing so many cool like things with like visual effects on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like, it's awesome.
I'm assuming Corridor's probably worked on some big movies, right? Because like, something like a Marvel movie will be like, oh, they're going to hire 50 different studios to work on different parts of the movie. At this point, they're talented enough that they've got to been hired out to work on stuff like that, right?
Maybe, but I mean, they've also been very consistently pumping out a lot of stuff. I mean, they've expanded Dab the Node and all that kind of stuff. Like, they're doing so much.
Did you see Corridor Digital's anime thing they just put out?
I believe I saw. This isn't the AI generated anime.
Kinda. It's rock paper scissors, but done in anime style.
Yeah.
But they filmed them and then like did an overlay where it's like basically they took the overlay and just made an animated character, make an anime character.
I saw.
And did it super fast.
There's back and forth discourse on this. Now I'm interested in how they're going to utilize this in the future, but there's also the argument I've seen of people saying like, one, pay animators, and this is just rotoscoping with AI. I'm no film expert.
I mean,
but
yes, that is tricky, and pay animators absolutely, pay artists absolutely, but at some point it becomes a tool.
That's what I think the argument is.
Yeah, like there you go, right there.
This?
So there you can see how it went from like them shooting the live video to then overlaying a Borderlands almost style look to it. It's really, really badass, but it's a new tool. It's like. That's like saying like, oh well, you use the blur tool in Photoshop back in the day. You would hire someone to blur it out. It's like, it's a tricky line. Like I'm not saying it's the best thing ever, but it's like it's a new tool. It's like you make things more efficient, you make things better. Yes, you may eliminate some process to get there, which may reduce people, but at the same time, it's like you're making new stuff.
Ultimately, you want things to be efficient now.
Yeah,
I mean, like
that's the big argument. Is
how many fields where it's like, sure, you might eliminate specific specialties in like the medical field, but ultimately you want technology to be pushed forward.
Yeah.
Right. This is media. So, but like you want tech to advance.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying is like, if what they're arguing can happen, then yes, that would alleviate a lot of people to work on separate parts of the project and expand on them while, again, I'm not an animator here, but what I'm understanding is like they'll take some of the animation concepts or like especially lower intensity shots and go, okay, we as AI, or I say we, it's like the computer, will fill that in and do in-between animations so that other animators can focus on heavier scenes. I can wrap my mind around that. So if we keep that kind of intensity and drive, then I'm all for seeing what the future is going to provide and what we can do with this technology or this tool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that kind of stuff exists already where like even like simulation, where it's like, and when you're watching something like The Hobbit or something with a massive army of people, it's like they're not individually animating all of those people. Right. It's like just apply, this is general motion. Like
we saw that in Mulan. Like it was like 90 what? Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, here's some general, like we need a walking animation and then like some general fighting and just kind of hit each other. So, okay, cool, and just apply it to everything as opposed to like going in and manually do it for each one. So it's that kind of even like cloth. I mean, like simulation in cloth and fabric. It's like that was you literally now be like, this is a cloth that weighs this much, is this heavy? How will it rest on someone? And they simulate that as opposed to animating every frame of it. And so it's the next tier of that. It's just another tool, See,
I'm also interesting to think about this, like textures is hair animation. I know that was a big jump between like Frozen 2 and then things like Encanto. It's like now you have all these different textures and styles. I'm like, okay, that would be really cool if you could generate cycles of like, okay, someone turning their head. It's like, okay, now I set my parameters and hands off. If the computer can take over from there and run this sequence, that's really cool. We could definitely use that.
I mean, I think that's kind of the case. It's sort of what that's the idea. It's like you should be able to make that kind of stuff on your phone if you wanted to, But at least, I don't know. Like again, it's sort of.
You saw with people that specialize in it, right?
Yeah,
and, like that know about it, and like it's in their field.
Yeah, and you can also always tweak stuff too. Or so you can be like, okay, I want to set this up. Here's my parameters, but I need to just adjust it a little bit more. Like add this or move this around, something along those lines. But I don't know. It's fascinating, but it really is just producing more tools for people to use, and ideally makes things better. But
Absolutely.
But then you go back and like watch Jurassic Park, and it's like this feels better than 90% of the animated movies or CGI involved movies out there. But at the same time, I say that damn near every movie has some form of CGI now, whether you know it or not.
Right.
So it was like, there's so many things, like you watch something like The Last of Us and it's like, holy shit, it's like, this all feels real. But it's like, oh, that's mostly CGI is what you're looking at. Like all the backgrounds and everything. Yeah. The stuff that you're not paying attention to, it's like, that's what's changing. And it's like, oh, that's cool. And the idea of like digital backdrops and things, like we're talking about, like going Mandalorian and stuff.
Just
like
expanding the immersion process.
Yeah. Like technically they're reducing the number of animators they need because all of it's live on set and they're using Unreal to like make this backdrop that moves when the camera does, as opposed to like, we're going to drop this actor, we're going to drop Pedro in front of a green screen, film it, and then, composite him into the frame and get the background all right. It's like, technically you're eliminating those positions. I would have done that, but instead you're producing something different, and there's different positions that go along with that. So
true. Yeah.
Give and take. I'm all about progress, like, not for the sake of progress, but I like progress in the right way and handled properly. And
Absolutely. And if you're curious about the discourse, please. I've only seen it on Twitter, but yeah, I like hearing. I mean, people within the industry speaking about like corridor representatives and then other animators weighing in, going, here's my experience with this tech. I've used it, or here's why I haven't used it. I'm like, okay, again, this is all like, you all are wizards to me who just make the cartoon go. So I go, oh, cool, awesome, I'll learn about this.
So what it all comes down to is Ren and Nico are destroying the planet. So
damn,
you bastards, you corridor bastards. Put that on your React channel.
Like anime-inspired shows also, talking about animation on Castlevania is incredible.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I went back and started rewatching that too. Have they announced the new show with the next Belmont? Or no?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, because Powerhouse Animation is the creators behind Castlevania.
You can announce it right now if you want to. Go ahead.
Oh my God, it's happening. After RWBY Volume 9,
Ruby dies.
Castlevania.
In episode 3, we discussed.
She's
that
brought back as a vampire. It's amazing stuff. I'm all about
Word?
it. I would sign up. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. She already has the red and black motif. It's perfect.
That's true. The scythe, they turn it out into wood and they stab her with it.
Oh my God, it's genius. It still writes itself.
It's a scythe and it's also a stake.
Well, that's the Buffy crossover. Naturally. Speaking of crossing over.
Damn, we talked that much, huh?
We
I
did.
think it's time to cross over back into real life.
It's late. We got to go record our first thing, the last call. So thank you, first members, for hanging out. You should watch that on the site as well. But yeah, we're good. That's it.
Time for the post show.
Let's get out of here. Thank you so much. Make sure to watch all the things and buy all the stuff and do all the things and support us in the various ways.
Yes. Watch RWBY Volume 9. Appreciate you. Love you very much. And we'll see you next week for another off topic. Maybe Mike will be back. No promises.
He's dead.
Nah, don't worry about it. Nah, cut the feed.
All right, bye.